Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother ears.
Good evening and welcome to episode 126 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of November 18th, 2016. I am Chris Randazzo, and joining me tonight is another special guest because Dan is still on the moon. The Vestlord himself, valiant return, Mr. Dean DeFalco.
Double.
A double-dee-doo. What is that?
It's the guys from Homestar Runner just doing good stuff.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that was them. I've watched... Okay, so quick piece of context. Dean sent me a video not a long time ago, of a little thing saying double, a double-dee-doo. And I watched it a bunch of times, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, there's a whole series. Apparently, Disney paid them a fair amount of money to make these little shorts in between their TV shows, and that is what they have been up to. And I gotta admit, there are a bunch of video game ones, and they're pretty great.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, I would recommend watching them if you ever just have some spare time. Check them out; they're really cool. It's just look up Two More Eggs, I think the name of that little series is called. Definitely take a look. It's worth it.
Homestar Runner, big fan of the show.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about some reproduction boxes because I asked Dean what he wanted to talk about tonight, and he said repro boxes. So we're gonna do that. But before we get to that, here is your weekly reminder that you can email us at mail@geekade.com and let us know what you think of our show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you, the listener. I will again apologize in advance. I'm recording this episode immediately after recording the previous episode, where me and Mike Sheridan basically just listed a bunch of games for 45 minutes or a half an hour or whatever. I'm sorry, but we're trying. It is a trying time for my brain. So, Dean,
yes.
How are you? What have you been up to since you left this show?
I've been up to quite a few things. I mean, firstly, I told everyone I wasn't leaving the website or anything. I was just changing my focus. So we've been doing a lot of YouTube stuff recently and streaming stuff, and we'll be getting back to streaming pretty soon. But I've brought back my my old show, Bit Bites, and we're gonna start doing that. First episode actually aired when we were recording this today, on Wednesday, November the 9th. So,
yes.
Yeah, that was fun stuff. But more recently, I have taken a liking to fixing up my game collection. And what I mean by that is, if you've gotten into a GameStop before, right, Chris?
I have. I've entered those establishments once or twice in my tenure on this planet.
The portals of hell. Yeah, I've been there too. And I have from time to time there is normally a deal on a used game that I want, especially now. Like, I've walked into a GameStop recently, and I guess because we're so deep into this generation of gaming that last gen's games, they're just basically throwing the fuck out the door. Like, if you want video games for like the Xbox 360, PS3, or original DS, now's the time to go look over at GameStop, because I hate to praise them, but cheap prices are cheap prices. I got Tetris DS. I think I sent you a text message, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
When I was in Philly for like $17. I bought that son of a bitch right up. Yeah, no.
So good.
Yeah, and it's worth more than $17. And to be honest, they used to sell it for $50 used, so I was very happy at the price. But my problem with getting these games from GameStop is a lot of the times they don't come in the disc, because there's shitty people out there who don't take care of their video games, and it upsets me.
You mean come with the box?
Some of them don't come with the box.
You said the disc.
Oh, yeah.
That would be terrible, even by GameStop standards.
Hey, listen, sometimes they don't come with the disc either, and then you got to go back there and raise some hell. But, yeah, a lot of the times they don't come with the box, and, it's bothersome, and, they'll give you a generic box. And I hate having that on my wall. I hate having that generic text, that shitty printer paper that they use that's perforated to kind of fit every single possible game case ever made, and you just tear off the perforations. I hated it. It sucks. So I've been actually upgrading my cover art and stuff and making everything nice, which is why I wanted to talk about repro boxes and reprinting cover art and stuff and all that goodness, because I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat I am, where they pick up the stuff at GameStop, even new games. You can go to GameStop right now, and I mean, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could buy a copy of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I'm sure someone already somehow lost the case for or stole it out of something and then traded it into GameStop, and GameStop graciously took it and gave them $7 for it, and then resold it for $55 because yay economics. But
that's how they pay their employees.
Yes, that's true. But it's just I can't stand it, and I'm sure there are people out there who can't either. So if you're with me in that boat, listen up, guys, because we have some ways to solve those problems, and I think we should probably start with some of the more easier approaches to this, Chris. You have been a purveyor of collecting games for a long time now. And I feel like for the older games, some of this stuff might be harder to come by, or just if you don't know where to get it, it might be harder to come by. So I asked Chris, tell me about your trials through this.
Well, all right, my trials for this. There's a couple of different routes that you can go. There's Universal Game Case, which I have never been a fan of. I think they're just kind of cheap. They're not very well made. And they're also not shaped like the original boxes. See, like I am a stickler for things that match, and if I want to get boxes for my stuff, I'm either going to track down the original boxes, which I do a lot, or every now and then you can get reproduction boxes, and sometimes they're really nice, and sometimes they're complete and utter garbage. My favorite place to get. And repro, I don't think is the right word for these, but there's a website called UncleTusk.com, and Uncle Tusk, good old Uncle Tusk, he makes boxes for games that never had boxes. So they look great. Like right now, I'm holding in my hand my repro box that I got for the Donkey Kong Country Blockbuster World Video Game Championship 2 cartridge, which itself is a repro cart that I got from Retro USB. And I have a box for it, and it looks legit. It just looks like a Super Nintendo box. It's shaped exactly like it. It's the same exact size. It fits in my box protectors, which again, box protectors. They sell them at StoneAgeGamer.com for a handful of systems. And if you don't find what you need there, VideoGameBoxProtectors.com has even more shapes available. But these are great things if you're trying to keep your old boxes in shape. It's the equivalent of like a bag and a board for a comic book, except for a video game box. They are great. The other one that I decided to just pick up out of my room is Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. This is a great repro box from Uncle Tusk. This game was a pack-in only game, so there was no like standard retail release, but this sucker's got it's got a barcode, screenshots on the back, like the whole 9 yards. It looks absolutely legit, like a product you would buy in the store, and it's quite remarkable. So that's a really great way to get your games. Like I have my copy of Super Mario Duck Hunt for NES has a box, so I can line it up with my other games, like no problem. So if you've got games like that were pack-in games or something odd like that, chances are you can get a reproduction box for it from Uncle Tusk, so your cartridges will have a nice fancy home. Now, if you're looking for just an actual reproduction of the box itself, there is an Etsy page called Dangerous Games that does really good work, but not too good work where that you would mistake them
for the actual thing.
For the actual thing, which is important because a lot of collectors don't really like that idea that you can get a reproduction box, pass it off for the real thing, and then sell it on eBay for hundreds of dollars. Fortunately, the stuff that I've gotten from Dangerous Games has been almost perfect. So,
they have some really cool stuff, though, man.
They really do. This is how I completed the boxes for my Virtual Boy collection. I am holding in my hand a box for Mario's Tennis, which is something that usually sells for a little over $100, and I would not sniff that for $100.
Oh yeah, no,
because
totally, I understand.
it's a box for a Virtual Boy game, but it's so rare because it was a display-only box. The game was a pack-in only.
Right.
But because there was an actual box produced for it, Uncle Tusk doesn't want to make one because a real box does technically exist for it. The other one I got from them is one that the Mario's Tennis. What's off about it is that the color is a little dark. And it's ever so slightly out of focus. So like you look at it and it feels like a real box because it's printed on the same type of cardboard as a real Virtual Boy box.
Right.
But the colors are a little darker than the actual box would be. So nobody's mistaking that for the real thing. The next one is Nestor's Funky Bowling, which is another one that's really hard to get the box for. And this one is really, really close to being perfect. The trouble is that there's something weird going on with the font on the spine, which really bothers me about it. Like, it's almost perfect in every respect, except the text on the spine is like shoved all the way down to the bottom.
Oh, that sucks.
It just doesn't look right. It's just a bit wrong. But still, I love that Dangerous Games site. And like, if you're looking to complete your black box NES game collection and you're not doing it so that you can sell it or something someday, this is a really great way to get those black box NES games. Just the boxes for them, because like finding a box for Donkey Kong Jr. Math is absolute insanity.
Dangerous Games actually has very cool Nintendo 64 boxes too, it seems.
They do. They have a bunch of different categories there, like Game Boy games and stuff. And they do PAL stuff as well as NTSC. So kind of depending on where you are. I think they're European, actually. I'm not positive. But they've always been really great to work with. In fact, they didn't have a Nestor's Funky Bowling box before I talked to them about it. Now it's it's regularly on their list because they're like,
awesome.
if you have another box and you can get us the artwork, we can make it for you. So yeah, those guys are great. Just super high recommendations for them. So I think that's probably a pretty decent breaking point, because I know we have the different projects that you've been working on, the way that you've been doing things, and there's also something else that's sold on StoneAgeGamer.com I'd like to talk about. So.
Sure.
We're going to take ourselves a quick break. We're going to do a couple of commercials, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a few more interesting ways to cover your loose cartridges. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com, so stick around. And now here's a look at some of the other original content available right now at Geekade.com. First up, it's that confusing time of year between Halloween and Thanksgiving where it's too early for peppermint and too late for pumpkins. Or is it? Hunter Wild makes the assertion that this season is ripe for experiencing some of the best that our round orange friends have to offer. Check out the Imbibing Scribe, Heavy Seas of Greater Pumpkin, to find out more. Pausing. Shatner.
Next, did you know that Matt Ramo from Ring the Bell is still reading Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest to you? Oh yeah, that's still happening. Every Tuesday and Thursday until that horrible tome is complete, Geekade will deliver chapters of the book to your ears in audio form. So keep your eyes and aforementioned ears on Words of Power, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.
You will do it. You have no choice.
We're going to stuff it down your throats whether you like it or not.
We are going to read every single book in that freaking series, and Evan has, I believe, already started preparations for the next book, and he's going to suffer through it because he's an American hero.
It's like Brussels sprouts.
Like Brussels.
You don't want them, but you're going to have them.
Then, Dean, that guy, has resurrected his once prophetic web series Bit Bites, except this time with 30% more talking about issues in the world of entertainment and 87% less animated Kirby's, at least for now.
Oh, God.
Head over to the Geekade YouTube channel and watch Bit Bites Episode 1, Old League of Legends items and failed MOBAs. It's actually about sandals.
Yeah, I made it that way. Finally, the weekly status of the Macabre Movie Mausoleum may be regulated to October, but the marathon of Nightmare on Elm Street movies continues this month with the series' 5th entry. Does the Dream Child have what it takes to course-correct the franchise and earn the coveted mausoleum from Dr. Azar Rising? Or is it nothing more than an unmarked grave? Find out in Macabre Movie Mausoleum, The Dream Child.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, it didn't do very well. I was actually reading that article while I was writing this script, and I scrolled down to the bottom to see what it was, and it was not favorable. Apparently, this movie bites the big one.
I've seen.
So I didn't know there was that many of these things. You can catch all this great stuff, plus tons of other articles, videos, podcasts, and more right now at geekade.com. And we're back. We're still back. I'm still awake, and we're talking about boxes. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about boxes. Good God, I'm tired. I cannot wait to go to bed after this. All right, so Dean, you have actually been you mentioned a little bit earlier that you've been kind of cheesed about the buying like loose games and coming with crappy repro boxes from the game stoppage.
Yes.
What have you been engaging in recently that is ultra fun?
Lots of sexual activities. Plenty of that.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Well, see, all right. So, for old games, it's pretty easy to well, not easy, but there are options to get repro boxes out there, which is nice. That's good that is available, and mainly because cardboard boxes are difficult to make, so not anyone can do that. However, nowadays most games are in a plastic case with a cellophane sleeve over it, and there's a cover in between the case and the sleeve, and that makes your box art in case where the game is held. Now, unfortunately for most gamers, they like to stack discs and not take care of them and leave them on the table, so when they get traded in, GameStop has to make a case and all that. So I have gone out of my way and looked for places on how to fix this atrocity that has been done to my eyes, and there were a few people out there that were actually really helpful. Essentially, I was just Googling this at first, and I came across a website called thecoverproject.net. Now, not only do they do old school covers for games where you can get a bit box or something and make your own cover, or just a general case, but they also do new games, and this is entirely community run. So if you want something, all you have to do is ask someone, hey, listen, does anyone have this game out there with the cover art? Can you scan it in and upload it, and we can add it to the library of games? Now, I mean, they go all the way back from the 3DO to current, the Xbox One. So it's really cool that you have this option of getting the cover art for these games. Now, my main focus has been the Xbox 360 and PS3, because I'm going to buy all these son-of-a-bitch games up before they rise in price, because I like a lot of the games on the system, and I feel this is going to be the last real generation. That was the last real generation where all games came mostly on a disc. A lot of them don't anymore, especially there's a lot of smaller games that aren't going to make it to disc anymore, and we started seeing that back in the Xbox 360 era, but now it's incredibly prevalent with Steam, Xbox One, PS4, so all these games I'm trying to get and at least preserve while they're cheap, because I can't afford to get Sega games and NES games and maybe Atari games, but that would be about it. So yeah, I went to the site and I started figuring out, like, people gave me the sizes things needed to be, how it would fit on a piece of paper, what paper I needed to use and stuff. So I started researching, and then I started researching a printer and such. Now, Chris, just off the top of your head, how much does a box cost you if you were to buy it from one of these companies? Just ballpark.
Like Dangerous Games?
Yeah.
I think they're like $12, something like that. They're not crazy expensive.
Okay, all right. So I had to make a bit of an investment. I needed a printer that would do this because I did try printing this on my office printer downstairs, which, it prints very fast, very quickly, but it doesn't print well. So when I try to do stuff like that, it came out like complete hot garbage, which I wasn't happy about. So I went on Google and I Googled best cheap printers for photos. And you know what? I got good results. I bought an HP Envy 4560, something like that. I got a $50 printer that prints the most amazing images I have ever seen in my life. Granted, it only prints up to legal, which is 8.5 by 14, but that's more than enough for any video game cover. Nothing's bigger than that, especially current gen stuff. So I did that. I got on Photoshop, but you can also use free programs like GIMP or even Paint if you really wanted to. I sized the stuff up, I printed it out, and I cut it down. Now, I know you were saying you had some games and stuff that you were talking about that were in your hands right now, but I've seen most of your collection, so there's no need to show me, but I'm not too sure if I showed you. I have in my hand Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White... Fuck it. I have Ni no Kuni in my hand. And,
no, what's the subtitle, Dean? I have to know.
It's Wrath of the White Witch. I said it that time because I said it real slow.
You did.
So this is what I made. This is the... let's wait for that to focus. The box that I made.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks legit.
Yep. And
see, that's what's great about PS3, 360, like the disc games, or even Genesis and 32X, is that you can just print out a piece of paper,
right,
and put them in there, and they look great. Like I have, I printed out one of those for Pac-Man Versus for GameCube, which didn't have a full-size case, but somebody made one, so I printed that one out. Got it again off Cover Project. I got one for Wii Sports, Link's Crossroad Training, the Netflix disc for Wii. Like
that's awesome. You got the Netflix sticks. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Now, I have to commend this website, thecoverproject.net, because I went on there and without any looking around or anything, I signed myself up for the forums and I said, listen, I need a cover for Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Can anyone help me out? Not only did people help me out, they sent me the cover art, and then they sent me all the sizes I would need, how to make everything fit right. They sent me all the assets for a Wii box if I wanted to replace what would look faded, maybe like the Wii bar at the top, like how it says Wii on it with like they resent me that recolored and everything. They sent me barcodes. They sent me the whole 9 yards. These people are incredibly helpful and very courteous from what I've seen so far. I mean, I've asked for a little bit of help. I haven't really been demanding or anything, and when I can, I try to help people back because that's karma. So
I need to do something like that. I'm gonna partner with you on this to get this right, because I've been meaning to print up my own cover art for Zelda's Adventure on CDI.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
That's another one of those things. I'm never gonna pay for that myself. All I'd need is just a cover and a back cover for an empty jewel case. Is all that I want.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. That's all you need. And it's very doable. Now, I work at a place where we cut graphics a lot, so I have a cutting board, and I literally just use a straight razor and a ruler and cut this stuff. Now, if you want to get technical and really get some hardware, you can always get a small paper cutter, which costs about $50-$60, and cut this, and you'll get the straightest cut ever. But, hey, I really don't have $50-$60 extra bucks lying around. I already spent that on the printer. So, I made a little bit more of an investment, but now whenever I get a new case, which I go to GameStop like every week just to check out what they have. I got Folklore for the PS3 for like $10, which is a really awesome RPG game. So like I'm super happy with that. I got Skies of Arcadia for dumb cheap. Just random things, and I'm always happy that it's not Skies of Arcadia. It's Tales of something or other. One of the Tales games for the Xbox 360. And
I want to say it's Zesteria, because that one's zesty.
It might be. I put some pepper on it. I put it in the case with the game. But I mean, going back to just the whole project in general, it doesn't take a lot of time, and again, it's next to near free if you already have the printer. And as far as legality goes, I don't think this is illegal because you're doing it for yourself for a game you already have. You're not making it for a mass market thing or anything like that. You're doing it because you want to replace something that's already in your collection. So I'm pretty sure that's legal. If you don't want to print it yourself, some people have said that you can go to Staples, but sometimes they give you a hard time because of said gray lines. I don't really think there are any, but the people at Staples don't know that, so hey, I can't blame them. But again, this place is great. If as far as cases go, I wasn't as lucky finding exact cases. I found a lot of people who just had spare stuff on eBay or Amazon, and it wasn't like stupid expensive. I paid like $10 for like 7 or 8 cases, so it's a little bit more than $1 a case, but hey, what can you do? Now I got extra stuff. Now as far as I was talking about Xbox 360 and PS3, but I do have some Game Boy games as well. Now, I don't have an answer for you guys for that. I mean, you could always cut cardboard stock up, and most printers will print up to a certain thickness, but the problem is, trying to cut that exactly to fit into a box, it might be a little dicey, and it probably isn't going to look exactly the way you want it to either. So I just use DS cases, and they do have DS cases with the Game Boy cart slots still in them. So
Yeah.
I do get my stuff like that, and then I just put them in there. And I tell you what, they look great. A lot of people will help you actually move the cover art around from a Game Boy box to fit on a DS case. And it looks second to none. They look really classy. They look super nice on a shelf. And I'm just really happy I found the site and I got into it a little bit because I like having everything in unison and, looking the way it should, rather than, kind of looking half-assed with, the shitty generic cover art that comes when you go to a video game store. And again, for a company, like a corporate company like GameStop, that makes sense because you save money that way. If they were to print out every freaking cover that they got, 1, that would take forever, 2, that would take tons of ink, and 3, that would cost an insane amount of money. So, yeah, like I understand why they don't do it, but, if you can do that and if it's something you want to do, I would recommend doing it. It looks great, and I think it's the perfect way to complement one's collection.
Yeah, and just to kind of hit one final point before we call it a night. I mean, obviously, like that picture you showed me there looks really great on there. The folks at Cover Project, you can get that stuff printed out from StoneAgeGamer.com. If you go to their Bitbox sections, which is really another great thing to talk about here, and I swear this isn't just because it's Stone Age Gamer.
We've seen their stuff in person, and I mean we cannot speak higher of it. They have really great looking stuff.
Ryan, a proprietor of Stone Age Gamer, wrote a great blog about how they got to this to make the bit boxes, and it was mostly because what was more or less the standard for the reproduction stuff was the universal game cases, which are kind of garbage. And so he really wanted to make something that was a higher end product for creating your own boxes. And they're like those cool like vacuum plastic folding VHS cases. And the Cover Project, you can get Cover Project stuff printed. They've partnered with the volunteers at coverproject.net, and they're totally on board, and they'll print out stuff for you. Like you order a bunch of bit boxes and you want to get some prints made for some NES games, you can do that for like $2 a print. It's really cool. It is quite good stuff. The bit boxes I can't recommend enough. If I wasn't the obscene stickler for the original boxes as I am, I would want, and I had infinite money, I would want to get bit boxes for every single NES game that I have, like every game that I have, because the bit boxes
look so
great.
classy. Yeah, no, they look great. And I mean, Chris is right. They look like the old VHS boxes, and those things look really, really good. Like back in the 90s when everyone just had shelves full of VHS stuff. Oh, man, they looked really nice.
They did. And the other thing about these is that unlike the cardboard boxes, like even if you have the box protectors, if you're going to store your games in there, getting them in and out is always going to cause wear, whereas the bit boxes are You just crack them open, and they're just clamshells, and they're super durable. And that's pretty much the end of the story for that. So no matter how often you're getting the games in and out of there, they're so smartly designed too. Like, you watch the whole process. Seriously, read this blog post. It's really interesting. Like, the whole process of, like, the guys that are actually physically making them. Like, they have all these shells of the different kinds of games. They're like, well, it turns out that this Sega one will also fit Sonic and Knuckles, Virtual Racing Deluxe, and Famicom games for some reason, and Electronic Arts Genesis games. It's like, they worked these things out so that they comfortably and like tightly hold every single one of these different versions of cartridges. They're really brilliant products. Mm-hmm. And if I had infinite money, I would buy tons of them. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got cooking right now.
I mean, I said my end, and I mean, yeah, no, I think that's it. I would just say to collectors out there, listen, if you can't do it yourself, there's always someone out there to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And I mean, as shitty as the internet can be, the internet's also great because people can come together to talk about this stuff. So, you know, never be afraid to ask questions and everything. Even if you think it's stupid, it's not. Like, just speak up and someone will always be there to help you. And I mean, if you can't find an answer, ask us at the very least. You can always shoot us an email.
That's right. All right, Dean. Well, thank you so much for filling in for Dan this week. That's going to be our show. Join in next week where Dan will be back. And he and I will be joined by Leonard Herman, the author of one of the most comprehensive books ever written on the history of video games, Phoenix 4. I haven't gotten my copy of Phoenix 4 yet, but I've read Phoenix 3rd edition, cover to cover, more than once. It is an extraordinary book. We'll talk all about it. Once again, you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com, as well as all flavors of social media that we inhabit. You can like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Geekade, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels for our latest and greatest video content, and follow us on Twitter at @the_Geekade. You can also find us individually on Twitter. I am at Geekade Chris, that's Geekade KRIS, and Dean is available at
Kimono_Vestlord.
If you're interested in more information about anything we discussed here tonight, be sure to check out the show notes. And while you're at it, you can also subscribe to this and any of our other wonderful podcasts on iTunes or Stitcher, where if you're super nice, you can leave us a review because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. We'd also like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all of you folks. And we would also like to thank Mark TDK Knight for our show's theme song. You can check him out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp or his website, which we have a link to in the show notes. Again, always remember to keep your eyes on geekade.com, where we post something new every single day. Thank you again for listening. On behalf of myself, the non-existent Dan, Dean, keep playing games.
I do exist.